administrators that go through a situation where we say thank you to a great friend, a great mentor, a great father, a great teammate, and a great family who have rebranded Wyoming basketball and brought these great young men to Laramie, this great coaching staff. But he is walking away from his head coaching duties at the University of Wyoming. He'll always be a Poke. So you got that emotion on one hand, and then on the other hand you got this excitement of a new day, but not a different day for UW basketball. I am so excited to be able to introduce someone from within the basketball family as the new head coach of the University of Wyoming Cowboys, Mr. Alan Edwards.
First off, let me start off by introducing, in a sense, my why. The reason I get up every morning and do what I do to try to become better at this profession. I want to introduce first my nephew, William Webb, who just joined us here, part of the family now. My youngest, the little energetic one, always on the jumbo screen, Landry. And then my son, little mini me, Jackson, as well. And then my oldest, she's actually been along for the whole ride from when it all started. We got our first opportunity at Morehead State University, Maya. And obviously, the one that kind of holds everything together, the rock, the foundation, the one that keeps me in line, my wife, Latanya. Thank you guys for obviously being here as well. Moving forward, guys, also like to thank two people that have kind of taken me under their wing and been pretty good mentors to me during my time here in Laramie. Both are former Pokes. Galen Thaxton, former football player here, also played in the league, and AJ Johnson, a former basketball player here and a retired police officer, and both still live here in the community. To move on, obviously want to say thanks, special thanks to Tom Burman and his staff for just giving me this opportunity and believing in me to take this program further. Also like to thank obviously President McGinnity and his staff for also showing that same passion. And obviously probably couldn't go further without thanking Coach Larry Shyatt for what he's been for me these last 5 years and bringing me along to join his staff. You know, I often think back to just my childhood and just think that, you know, in my mind, I'm still that little kid, you know, from the inner cities of Miami, Overtown. And, you know, to be this far away from home and being under a guy like Larry Shyatt that has helped me grow as a man, as a coach, as a father in every aspect, just to be under his tutelage for the last 5 years has been great. He's been a great mentor to me and the rest of the staff, and obviously as he takes his next journey, I'm sure he'll still be a mentor to all of us. So didn't want to obviously go on without saying thanks to Coach Shyatt and obviously Pam as well. Again, guys, I'm excited about this opportunity and taking this program from where Coach Shyatt left off and kind of taking it to that next step. Been around basketball my whole life, you know, since I first picked up the ball when I was 8 years old. Come from a basketball family. Me and my older brothers all played the sport, played it at a high level. And then obviously the coaches that I've been under since my time of picking up a basketball very early on. I can date all the way back to obviously my high school days, playing for a legendary coach in Shaky Rodriguez down in Miami. And I shared this with Tom during the interview process. Frank Martin, the head coach of South Carolina, coached me when I was like 11 years old. So I learned to have thick skin at an early age, having him yell at me. But he was also an assistant on my high school team as well, along with Anthony Grant, who was a long-time college coach and now an assistant with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then, fast forward, just the opportunity to play for Coach Pitino at the University of Kentucky and be a part of 2 national championships and play with a great group of guys. Obviously being around him was great, and just learning, even when I was a player, and now just watching him from afar has always been great. And even the guys on that staff, Jim O'Brien, who was a longtime head coach and the head coach in the NBA as well. Frank Vogel, who's now the Indiana Pacers head coach, was a video coordinator on that staff. So it was a lot of education on basketball just on that staff. And as Coach Pitino moved on, just having the opportunity to play for Coach Tubby Smith my senior year and winning another national championship. And Tubby has always been a mentor to me. He showed me a lot because I was a player with him, but I was also on his staff. So I got to see both sides of being the coach and also being a player. And he's taught me a lot throughout this process. But again, I'm excited about this opportunity and where this program can go. Being here at the University of Wyoming for the last 5 years and understanding that this is the only Division I program in the whole state, and how that speaks volumes, and how I not only see myself and this staff as the coach of this program, the coach of this institution, the coach of this community, but I also throw the whole state in there, being that we're the only Division I program. But again, I thank everybody for being here. I'm excited about the opportunity. I think the future is bright. Excited about being a part of these guys' future and coaching them going forward. Thank you, and if there's any questions from the media, I would love to take them.
Obviously having a very good familiarity with this, I don't imagine, if it's not fixed, if it's not broken, it doesn't need fixing. Is there you expect a lot of wholesale changes or philosophies or anything, or is it going to be a lot of what we've seen the last few years?
I think when you're an assistant, you always envision becoming a head coach at some point in your career, and you're always trying to figure out what you would do when you run your program. I will say, I've learned a lot under Coach Shyatt, and we come from that same family tree. The core structure of what we do will not change, but there are some little subtle differences that I would like to do with this program going forward.
Coach, has Coach Shyatt, did he share much advice or anything with you moving into your first head coaching role?
I thought he's done that for us as a staff for the last 5 years. Even when we first got here at the University of Wyoming, he told myself, Jeremy, and Scott to treat every situation like as if you were the head coach. So as we were going through this process together, we all experienced that feeling of being a head coach. And I said this after I took over for him when he got sick at Air Force, and given that opportunity, because it was my scout, that I thought Coach Shy did a great job not only coaching his players, but he did just a bit of a job coaching his staff. So the advice has been coming for the last 5 years for me.
Coach, have you had a chance yet to talk with players on the team? If so, what was that reaction like?
It was very brief, given the emotion behind Shy speaking to him at 8 o'clock in the morning. I didn't think it was the appropriate time to kind of get into the meats and potatoes of it. So it was more so basic in the sense of what the rest of the day was going to be like. And then after this session or this press conference is over, we'll meet back over and have a team meeting.
Coach, how important is it for the team sitting back there to keep continuity within the staff, that you guys are here and they're not starting over from scratch? How important is that continuity?
I think it's very important when you think about the day and age of college basketball, with it being so much change and so much transferring out there, that when staffs move on, the first thing student athletes decide to do is kind of, move to a different situation, because that wasn't the staff that recruited them. So us keeping everything intact, and obviously Tom hiring from within gives those guys that continuity that, you know, the ship is fine and we're still going in the right direction.
As far as your staff now, is Scott and Jeremy staying on, or where do you move forward, and what's the status of your coaching staff right now?
Well, as of right now, I've offered everybody on the staff that's been here a job. The only situation that I'm looking forward to replacing is myself. I haven't heard anything else otherwise.
Any other questions?
Inspector.
Coach, obviously, will carry a lot of what Coach Shyatt did for this team with you stepping in, but it will be a new personality with you as the coach. What do you want this team to look like and play like this coming season and in the coming years under your tenure?
Well, I've always heard your team is a reflection of its head coach. And I like to consider myself a very energetic guy, you know, positive and just a work hard guy. And I think, again, going back to what Coach Shyatt did here, the core structure will be the same, just a few tweaks to fit more of my personality more than anything. But I mean, I think you'll see a lot of the same toughness, the same hustle, the same energetic, positive type attitude out of our guys.